My name's Amanda, and I'm going to show you how to use an unpadded ring sling today. Women have been wearing their babies since mothers began having babies. It's nothing new, but it's something that I think is very worthwhile trying. When you are threading your ring sling, I like to put my rings about armpit height, and I make sure that my fabric is spread out evenly across my back and it's not twisted. I gather up my tail starting at one end, accordion file, again trying not to twist up the material. I thread the tail up through both rings and then down between the rings. I have sewn the fabric so that there's a dark seam and a light seam, and you want your seams to match up. This helps you to realize if you do have your fabric twisted up in the rings. If it's twisted, it's going to be really difficult to use. So on this sling, I've got my purple seams at the top here, and then I'm going to want my purple seam at the top in my rings. Every time I put my sling on, I fluff out the fabric that's in between the rings because it makes it easier to use. And then just double checking, I've got my light seam here, my light seam here, and my light seam inside. So now you're ready to sling. To start, I'm going to show you how to do the cradle carry. Young babies without good head control like the cradle carry, newborns right on up to the first couple of months. What I need to do is make a pocket for the baby to sit in. I want to make this light seamed edge up higher, so I'm just going to pull the light seamed edge of my tail, and my light seamed edge comes up higher. And the center is down low. If I wanted the center up higher, I would just pull on the tail of my sling. But that kind of adjustment I like to do when baby's in the sling, because then I know exactly how high I want him or her. And I leave the front seam alone so that I have space to get the baby in. So once the sling is pre-tightened, then I'm ready to pick up the baby. I pick up the baby and I've got him securely in my arms. When you're learning how to sling, it's a good idea to learn with a friend. And it's also a good idea to learn over top of a soft couch or a bed or something like that. And I'm just going to hold him firmly with one arm and put him in the sling and pull the sling up and over my arm, and then I'm going to transfer his weight to my first arm. So now I've got him securely in this arm again, and I'm going to use this arm to pull on the front of my sling. Hi! By pulling the dark seamed edge of my tail. This is a great position to nurse in. Hey, bud. There you go. If your baby's too high, you can loosen the middle of your tail a little bit to lower him down. If he isn't high enough, you can also pull on the middle of your tail to raise him up to the proper nursing height. And once he's happily nursing, you can pull up your sling material, and if you need a little shelter, you can even cover yourself with the tail. Now that River is full, we're going to try transitioning him to his favorite position, which is vertical. And he's still in the pocket because he is quite small, and his little legs are inside, and I just crisscross them, holding on to him securely. Hey, buddy. And then again, tightening up the sling to support his position. And he also likes the vertical carry, but facing out. That way he can see the world. So I'm just going to loosen the sling by holding both sides of my ring, and I pull, and with River's weight in the sling, it comes loose quite easily when you're pulling on the sling. And again, I'm just going to crisscross his little legs. Hey, buddy. Crisscross applesauce. making sure that there's plenty of fabric pulled up behind. So I'm going to pull the inside of my sling. And now I'm going to pull up the outside of my sling to make sure that he is securely in there. He's not going anywhere. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Well, this is a great tool if you're grocery shopping. You need two hands to shop. If you have a toddler or an older child that you need to hang on to when you're crossing the street, things like that, it's absolutely invaluable in town. It's much more convenient than pushing a stroller around or lugging baby around in a car seat. It's very easy to do and very easy to learn, and I think you'll enjoy it as much as we do and as much as River does. Studies show that babies who are carried an extra 3 hours a day in a sling cry 45% less than other babies do by the time they're 4 months old. Maybe that's all the incentive that you need to sling your baby. When your baby gets a little bit bigger, or if your baby doesn't like to have his or her legs inside the sling, you're able to sling with the baby's legs out. And right now I'm going to show you the cradle carry again with baby's legs out. River's little legs are out now. Here they are. And I'm making sure that his bum is still in that hammock, so his bum is lower than his knees. And there's lots of fabric underneath his knees so that he's not going to go anywhere. And I'm just going to tighten that sling up to support his position. You want to make sure that the sling is flat across your back. There's no bulges of fabric. So here I'd be able to nurse him quite happily. Hey, buddy. And again, I've got that one hand free. It's fabulous. We can switch to vertical carry with his legs out. And in order to do that, I just rotate him around, holding on to the baby securely, of course. Hey, buddy. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. And I just tighten my sling up again to support his new position. Basically, you can hold your baby in a sling in any position that they like to be held in. It's only limited by your imagination. And you want to really make sure that there's a lot of fabric underneath their knees. Okay, you want to make sure that their bum is in a little hammock. And River's a little bit young for this hold. The older babies have longer legs and it's easier to do this position with them. So if you are going to try a position like this with such a young baby, it's a good idea to keep one hand on them at all times, okay, just so that you securely got them and they're not going to go anywhere. And then again, you get your one hand free. And when they're even bigger, everybody loves to ride on Mommy's hip. Yes. So we would just swing them around. Yeah. Swing them around. There. And tighten up the sling to support his position. And again, Mommy's got a hand free, and baby's exactly where he wants to be, eh? Yes, we're just not moving fast enough, are we? No. When you're teaching your sling baby to learn to love his or her sling, it's a good idea to put them in and just go. Do the mommy dance, the mommy bounce, and just start walking with them once they're securely in their sling. Hey, buddy. Most babies do enjoy that motion. Hey, is that better? Yeah. Okay. And there is a back carry that I don't use with River yet because he's a little bit small for back carries with his feet out. But all you would do with an older baby or toddler is lift your arm up and scoot them behind. Okay. And then tighten up your sling again to support their position. It is possible. Anything is possible with your sling. Yes, what do you think, River? Here we go. Back into the cradle carry. You'll notice I've done all of these changes of position without even removing him. And I never unthread my sling unless I'm ready to wash it. You don't want to wash your sling threaded. And it's very easy to unthread this thing. And now we're happy. And that's what it's all about. Please join us on the website, www.myzenbaby.com.